Hello everybody and welcome to the Yoshi Cast. I'm Yoshi. Today is Tuesday, September 11th, 2018, and this is episode 17, of Bag and Board. Yoshi! Thanks for joining me everybody for another week of comics, bagging and boarding, where I take a ridiculous amount of care to bag up the books I got this week. Some books I picked up from my local comic book store, some came in the mail, and I just want to jump into this because I'm partially confused and super excited, so let's just do this. Starting off with Thanos Legacy, issue number 1. I walked into the comics place this week, and Jeff, who works there, came up to me right away and said I had to get this book because it ties into the Cosmic GHOSTRIDER books I'm reading, and that I'm supposed to read it before I read issue number 3, which is what I did. So let's talk about it a little bit while we bag and board this guy. So this was an interesting book this week on a totally different tone than Cosmic GHOSTRIDER has been going. It pretty much follows Thanos, and I don't know if I understood it very well, but I'm going to do my best to convey what I understood so that hopefully this can influence your purchasing decision if you're into Cosmic GHOSTRIDER like I am. But essentially, he's talking about his legacy through this book and what's his legacy going to be, what's he going to be leaving behind. And I got the impression that this is a Thanos that is aware that this is a Thanos that, as a baby, hung out with Cosmic GHOSTRIDER as what's been happening in the Cosmic GHOSTRIDER books. And he saw what he would become. He saw how he would die if Cosmic GHOSTRIDER hadn't intervened. And he feels that the only way to change that outcome that he was shown by Cosmic GHOSTRIDER is to kill himself. Or to die prematurely at the end. And that's where I'm kind of confused. Like, almost from the get-go, I feel like this story arc is null and voiding Cosmic GHOSTRIDER, which doesn't really bug me because Cosmic GHOSTRIDER is so funny and just a fun ride. Like, I just want to be able to enjoy it because it's a ride. It's super fun. It's worth every penny I've invested into it. And I kind of felt like this book was just kind of saying, that's null and void now. And if I'm right on that, if I'm interpreting this book correctly, then I kind of wish I had waited until the end of the Cosmic GHOSTRIDER run to read it. But it doesn't hurt anything, and I don't know if that's the reading order. Like, if I needed to read this to enjoy the rest of Cosmic GHOSTRIDER, because right now, because I have read 3, we're going to talk about that next. But right now, I don't know if it needed to fit between issues 2 and 3. Very interesting. Very, very interesting about that. And I don't know if Cosmic GHOSTRIDER is going to make an appearance in this. We see a Cosmic GHOSTRIDER in here, but I think what we see is there's a lot of time stuff going on here in this Marvel universe, guys. I think what we're seeing is a younger Cosmic GHOSTRIDER that happened before the events of the Cosmic GHOSTRIDER I'm reading. But Thanos is talking about the Cosmic GHOSTRIDER that I am reading, but the Cosmic GHOSTRIDER that shows up at the end of this book is one that wasn't brought back by Odin in the adventures I'm reading. So yeah. So I don't know if the Thanos Legacy is going to have any more Cosmic GHOSTRIDER tie-ins. It was very interesting when I was walking through the comic book store. Thanos Legacy and a couple of other comics on the shelf had variant covers with the Cosmic GHOSTRIDER on them. Is that because it's actually... Is that because Cosmic GHOSTRIDER is doing so good that they want the completists to see these covers and have to buy these other issues? Because Thanos Legacy is the only one that currently involves Cosmic GHOSTRIDER. The others I feel like it's just a money grab with the covers. They were nice covers. They weren't nice enough for me to want to buy them, but they were nice. It felt like this week, looking at the comic book shelf, the variant covers were nicer than the main covers that came out. So here is Thanos Legacy #1, bagged and boarded in Mylar with ridiculous care. And I also picked up the variant cover. This one features Cosmic GHOSTRIDER, and it doesn't hurt that the Punisher's on there either. So I really dug this cover, and I wanted to have it, and this book actually has got the Cosmic GHOSTRIDER in it, so I felt justified in picking up 2 of them. Next up is Cosmic GHOSTRIDER issue #3. And we'll just jump right into this guy and see what it's all about. So we ended the last issue, issue 2 of Cosmic GHOSTRIDER, where Ghost Rider's got baby Thanos strapped to his chest with his chains, like a Bjorn baby carrier, and he is in front of the Guardians of the Galaxy, who seem to be led by Cable, and it's very important in this issue. And that's right where we pick off. The story kind of reminds us that the Observer is watching all this go down still, as you can see here. And he's just like, this is the biggest blunder ever, and I can't help but watch almost. He doesn't even want to turn away. I mean, he's supposed to observe stuff, but it's like he kind of wouldn't miss this for the world at all. And then we're reminded about the Guardians that are here. Just a quick little recap as they start to try to fight Cosmic GHOSTRIDER, and Ghost Rider's not having it. He doesn't want to expose Thanos to this. He really feels like violence in his youth is what made him violent as an older adult. And one thing leads to another. Ghost Rider asks the Watcher to hang on to Thanos and just watch him, because that's his job, while he deals with the Guardians. He dispatches all but Cable. Cable bounces back in time, comes back with 5 or 6 more Guardians. This is the comic part of the book, the funny part of the book. Those guys get dispatched. Cable goes back in time, comes back with 10, goes back in time, comes back with 20, comes back with 100. And Ghost Rider makes short work of them all until the very end, where there's so many of them. She-Hulk is finally able to put Ghost Rider down. The thing that saves him is baby Thanos gets mad because he sneaks a peek through the Watcher's fingers and sees that basically his caregiver is getting his ass handed to him finally, after hundreds of Marvel characters have come. There's tons of cameos in this. Like, if you love cameos, this is your book. This is it. But baby Thanos does not like seeing his caregiver getting his ass handed to him, so he comes and regulates. And major spoiler here, through the time portal one more time doesn't come Cable. This time, wearing a Punisher t-shirt, is an adult, maybe a young adult, Thanos. And he says something like, "I'm finally here, Dad," or "I'm here to help you out, Dad," or something to that effect. And that's where it ends. I did not laugh out loud with this issue like I did previous issues. I did enjoy it. It was very entertaining, and it was very quick. There was a lot of fighting, and that's where the comedy was in this issue. Primarily, was just all these people that the Cosmic Ghost Rider was taking out. All these Marvel names that you've seen, just getting owned until the very end. He's just basically physically exhausted from fighting all these people. And Cable's almost losing it. Like, how many times do I have to go back and assemble a group and take you on? But baby Thanos helps, and now a younger adult Thanos shows up wearing a Punisher t-shirt, and that's where the book ends. And it was very enjoyable. It was just a super quick read this week, so keep that in mind. It's nice to... This was clearly a middle book because it was primarily fighting, but until now, where I'm actually saying this, it didn't feel like that, and it really kind of doesn't. Like, this fight needed to happen, and it was very enjoyable. It just didn't feel like we're shoving this in here to eat up time. It was an enjoyable book, and I'm glad to have it, and I'm super stoked for the next one. Like, they can't pump these out fast enough. I think there's probably only 4 or 5 in this series, which is unfortunate. But I'm looking forward to the next one. So, bagged and boarded with ridiculous care in Mylar is Cosmic GHOSTRIDER #3. I also picked up the variant cover for that. I just thought that was really cool. GHOSTRIDER, let me put this under the other camera. GHOSTRIDER riding a star through space. I don't know why, that just screamed to me. You got the Silver Surfer in the background. I really dig the cover. So I picked up the two. Next came in from eBay. This is Rick and Morty versus Dungeons and Dragons. This is a sneak preview edition. This was only available at DragonCon or Gencon, one of those two. I want to say Gencon because I would like to go to Gencon. And this was a book I picked up when I thought that collecting all the Rick and Morty versus Dungeons and Dragons covers would be a realistic expectation. It has turned out not to be. It's kind of interesting. Today online on Twitter, I saw the blank variant cover. I guess that came out at Long Beach Comic-Con this weekend. Hasn't shown up on eBay yet for me to snag from somebody, but the variant cover doesn't have, that blank variant doesn't have the dice on the bottom right, like I was led to believe from the preview of all those comics on the back of the first issue. It has a huge ass barcode where those dice were on the blank cover. Uglier than the dice, that's for sure. It's unfortunate. Marvel can do such nice tiny barcodes, and IDW and Onia Press don't seem to be able to do that. So yeah, I'll probably still grab one or two if I can find them online. It's just a matter of time if anybody posts them online for me to snag. So it looks like what's in here is just some extra information about concept, about how they draw it, how they went around drawing it. I haven't read this. I'm just looking at this for the first time. And yeah, this is maybe a third of the story before it stops in issue #1. So, which is still a lot. I mean, there's still a lot of the story here. It was a thick book. Definitely a thick book, the issue #1. This page here shows a version of cover A, a virgin cover. It's not a cover. It kind of is. I mean, this is thicker cardstock. This is more like what the covers are. But this is a version cover of cover A. So that's kind of neat to have that. And here we go. This is Dungeons and Dragons. I'm sorry, this is Rick and Morty versus Dungeons and Dragons, the sneak preview edition, which I believe was only available at Gen Con, and I was able to pick this one up off of eBay. Now, here we have a book I am definitely going to take a ridiculous amount of care bagging and boarding. This is Rick and Morty versus Dungeons and Dragons. This is an exclusive book from KRS Comics, I believe, and just like I thought, just like I was talking about, I was hoping this was available for the last video when I did all the Rick and Morty versus Dungeons and Dragons covers. This thing came in the day after I shot that video. So I've been anxiously waiting to bag and board this guy, and I love it. It is an homage to the 1980s red box of Dungeons and Dragons. This is a pretty darn good, accurate representation of the dragon on that red box. Rick and Morty are replacing the warrior that's fighting the red dragon, and this is a foil red cover. I love it. It is beautiful. And it has started to exceed the other book I talked about last week, the other cover, as one of the more valuable Rick and Morty's versus Dungeons and Dragons books on eBay. So that's kind of cool. But I got it just because I thought it looked beautiful. I didn't know when I ordered it was foil either, so bonus. Yeah, KRS Comics here. It's foil front and back. And here's the cover without the foil on it. This is interesting paper. This is not thick stock like I would expect. This is thin stock, very thin. You can tell how it's bendy. And here is the Rick and Morty versus Dungeons and Dragons KRS Comics foil exclusive cover. This thing is great. I want to give a quick shout out to KRS Comics. I bought a total of one comic book from them, but they packaged it extremely well. And this just feels like a gem mint book to me. There doesn't seem to be anything at all wrong with it. You know, a lot of times I'll order books online. There'll be a nick, there'll be something that it's just not enough for me to raise a stink about. And for as much money as this book cost, this was a $30 book from their website. I am over the moon for the fact that it is in immaculate condition. So big shout out and thanks to KRS Comics for this. I will definitely be watching their website to see if they come up with any other cool exclusives later that I'd be interested in. All right, guys, last book this week is an eBay purchase. It's 2 copies of Transformers Regeneration One, issue 96. This is the subscription cover. This is a blank variant. Whenever these show up online for a decent price, and they're slowly climbing, but I'm such a huge Transformers G1 fan that I will snag these up any chance I get. They're coming up less and less frequently since the run ended. And I have more than I will probably ever live long enough to use, but I just have to have them just in case. Just in case I come across artists, I want to get them to do Transformers for me. I've got the books. I don't have to worry about it. So let's go ahead and bag and board these guys. And here we have Transformers Regeneration One, 96, issue 96, the blank variant. These were, I'm impressed about how good a condition these books are in. This one is damn near flawless, quite frankly. I'm super stoked. This one's got a scuff mark across here. I don't know how well you can see that. This is pretty common for this particular variant to have a scuff mark right here. I've got several that have that. I'm working on a video that I want to record and share with you about how to clean those scuff marks off, because I've figured it out, and I'm going to do a video to show you. I want to be able to get good angles and get this stuff. I hope to have that video ready for you around the end of October. But yeah, I'm not worried about it because that's going to be cleanable and fixable, and this one is just immaculate. I'm stoked. I love these blanks, and I will snag them any chance I can. It's Transformers Regeneration 1, issue 96, the blank cover variant. And guys, that's it for this week. Thank you so much for hanging out with me while I took ridiculous care to bag and board these books. If you have any questions about why I do this or what products I use, you can find links to all that stuff down below in the show notes. Knock yourselves out. Throw some questions at me. I'd love to answer them. And until next week, you guys take care. Catch you in the next one. Later.